Alrighty, how's it going everyone? Texas Man here, back with another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you guys would please give this video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it. Subscribe, of course, if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the bell notification button, select all for all notifications so you guys don't miss out on future content here on the channel. And we're going to be, this is kind of, I don't have like a bullet point outline like I normally do for most of my videos, but I wanted to talk about something I miss. And that is, I miss personally, and I think a lot of other people my age also miss TV shows that were 22 to like 26 episodes long for each season. I personally hate a show that gets like 6 to 8 episodes for one season, and then you gotta wait 2 years, if not longer, for another 6 to 8 episodes to get released. I hate that. I remember watching shows like Lost and Once Upon a Time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and a season starting in the fall, like September or October. And then you would get half of the season, you get like 11 episodes, and then you would have that Christmas break for like 6 to 8 weeks. The show would come back on, and then it would run until like April or May and get your big finale. And that made it where you had something fun to watch during the colder months of the year. And then when summer came around, everyone's outside, they're enjoying doing the outdoor sports, less people watch TV. That just kind of makes sense to have it structured that way. And it still does. Now we get this 6 to 8 episodes, and either they get the first two episodes get dropped for the premiere, and then the other episodes get released weekly. Or sometimes you'll get a show, boom, just dumps all the episodes all at once. Or some shows like, I don't know, Wednesday or Stranger Things, they'll dump like a couple episodes, and then you got to wait a month for the next part of it, and then you got to wait another month for the next part of it. And I'm just like, it is so confusing. Streaming has made watching television, watching of TV shows very difficult. And it's made it where, you know, we live now, unfortunately, not only do we live in an age of streaming, but now we live in this, this TikTok era where everyone's like, okay, I need to binge watch all 8 episodes so I know what I'm talking about tomorrow at work. And I'm like, one, you wonder why we have so much depression and anxiety and people aren't sleeping properly. But two, who cares? Get to it when you get to it. That's how I feel. It's like, I got other things in life to worry about besides watching 8 hours of TV all at once. I'm sorry. I'm in my 30s. I enjoy my beauty sleep. I like to sleep. Okay? I also like making YouTube videos. I like streaming on Twitch at Douglas447. I like playing board games. I like playing video games. I like going to the movies. I like going for walks. I like going to work most of the time. I like hanging out with friends and family. I have a lot of stuff that I can do in my life besides just binge watch 8 hours of TV. And here's another problem. Most TV shows that are coming out now are bad. Star Trek right now is in utter mode. Doctor Who knows when that's going to get put back onto Disney Plus or TV by the BBC. Star Wars, when's the last time Star Wars TV was good? I mean, just objectively good. Probably The Mandalorian Season 2. When did that come out? 2000, 2001? Something like that? Been a couple years. Do I need to go on? These 6 to 8 episode TV shows are not good. And the fact that you get so little and then you have to wait so long for more, how do you get engaged with a show that's constantly on a hiatus? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Here's another example. Percy Jackson and the Olympians came out 2 years ago. We're finally getting season 2 based on book 2, The Sea of Monsters, coming out later this year. But here's the thing. It's not going to get all of its seasons. It's not going to get all of its episodes released at once. It's probably going to do another thing where it drops 2 episodes for the premiere. Then we've got to wait a couple more weeks for all the episodes to finally get released, which means the season's probably not going to conclude until like late January, early February of 2026. But that's it. And it's like, really? I hate this whole binging and streaming thing. Another thing that I think caused the death of the 22 to 26 episode thing, like that we got used to get with like I said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Lost, or Once Upon a Time, Star Trek DS9, Star Trek Voyager, is in the early 2000s there was a strike, and we keep getting all these Hollywood strikes from writers and actors. Another problem I think that affected it, and is still affecting how many episodes shows get now, is there's more focus on green screen, CGI, AI, all this technology stuff. It takes a lot more time to make these TV shows look like movies, like big budget experiences. And not everything needs to be the next Avatar, ladies and gentlemen. But there's just a lot more focus on making sure everything looks pretty, making sure everything looks IMAX and 4K and 8K and all this, rather than telling good stories and good writing of characters. Like, I think like Star Trek Strange New Worlds or Discovery or Picard, those shows having like 8 episodes per season or whatever, I think I would be more forgiving for them if they had good and unique plots and characters that I could, attach myself to. But I can't. The writing is bad. The stories are bad. The exploration is bad. And not only that, I think a lot of the CGI and green screen stuff is just utter garbage. It's not pretty to look at. So we're getting less content. The content that we do get is garbage. How do I get invested in these new worlds, these new characters, or franchises that have been around for a long time? Now they're just getting destroyed. Now you might be thinking, well, a show having 6 to 8 episodes instead of 22 to 26 makes it where there's less filler. Yeah, I understand filler episodes are bad. But here's the thing. And I'm just using this as a broad example. If you've watched the original Star Trek show, if you've watched then TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise, the golden... And then the 10 movies. The 10 movies. If you watched all that, and I've watched all that stuff twice. Watched all of it twice. First time through was during the COVID pandemic. Then I watched it the second time the past couple years. With people that hadn't had a chance to watch it. Ever. And that was fun. But I have great connection with those characters, those worlds. I have memories of being like shocking revelations. Like, oh, this character's dead. Oh no, this character's back. And it's like, but you don't get that emotional, deep connection with those characters, those worlds, those moments, those revelations. They don't stick with you. If you have a show that has a season that only has 6 to 8 episodes. There's no breathing room. There's no time to be able to get attached and invested with those characters, worlds, and plots. Because everything's so go, 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 go. There's no breathing room. There's no chance to get an episode that's just a little bit of a slow burner, but it's more character focused instead of just constantly like, pew, 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 pew. Action, explosion, boom, boom, boom. Okay? You don't get that with a 6 to 8 episode show. And if you do, it's so rare, I couldn't tell you if it has happened. Okay? Having seasons with 22 to 26 episodes allows for you to be able to get engaged and invested with the show you're watching. And because it has longer I'm sorry, because a show has more episodes, it's going to get talked about a lot more, whether that's good or bad. That show is going to be on the air every single week with one episode. And it's going to be something that's relevant. You're going to be able to connect with it. You're going to be able to talk about it at work. But if you have a show that has 6 to 8 episodes, and hypothetically they're always just dropping them all at once, you watch it within a week and then you move on to the next thing. And another problem, I think, is we have so much we can watch now. Whether that's old stuff or new stuff. We're constantly now living in this world where we have access to a bazillion things to watch, and now we don't know what to watch. That's one thing about cable I kind of did enjoy, is that there's only a couple things for you to be able to pick from. And you picked your one or two things, you got invested in that for a year or so, that's what you watched. I remember having to pick, like, okay, do I want to watch this show? Because I remember when I was working 2 jobs and I was in college, about a decade ago. I only had time between being in college and my 2 jobs and taking care of life and everything. I only had time to be able to watch 2 hours of TV. And I made it a priority that during that time, I was like, okay, what show do I want to spend my time with? What show do I want to get invested with? Whether it's the world, the characters, the universe. What do I want to be able to know my time is being well spent with? And I had to make a choice between this thing, that thing. And guess what? I picked this. This thing I never watched. And I never will because it's not available on streaming services anymore. So I'm left with this. And this thing, I still cherish. I still enjoy. I still highly recommend. And it was, at least for the first 6 seasons, was really good television. Season 7, the last season, was a soft reboot and kind of unnecessary. If you haven't figured out what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you a guess. It has to do with magic and Rumpelstiltskin. So if you guys have watched all the way to this video, you guys can guess what I'm talking about. Let me know what you guys think it is in the comment section down below. I miss those days. I miss those days when you had lengthy, fun adventures. And not everything had to be connected to the main plot. A lot of times shows that have 22 to 26 episodes, they'll introduce an episode and it introduces like a subplot, and then it doesn't get resolved into the finale or the following season. And it just made it where you're like, what happened to these characters? They didn't get a proper resolution. And then they get a resolution next season. Or it's like they introduce a character or two, and they're a subplot character, and as the show is going on season per season, those characters eventually become part of the main plot, but they're doing like a side objective to make sure the main objective is still able to be handled, if that makes any sense. So I miss it. I miss good TV shows. I miss lengthy TV shows. So, alright, that's enough of my rambling about TV shows. Just wanted to get this off my chest, and I figured I'm gonna talk about it, make a video about it, because why not? Yeah, I do miss the good old days of TV shows. I miss the good old days of movies and games and music and whatnot too. Things just aren't the same as they were 20 years ago, and it's sad. You know, it might be old man here talking, but I do miss the good old days. And I don't think we realize how good we had it until we've realized now we're living in an era of slop. We live in an era of slop. We live in an era of get excited for product, consume product, get excited for next product. And you know what? It's exhausting. Truly it is. And as somebody who talks about movies and TV shows on this channel primarily, it does get exhausting for me. It makes it where sometimes I really don't want to have to watch something and don't want to have to make a video about it just because of how tiring it can become sometimes. Sometimes me making a video on this channel is a job on its own. Just it's tough for me to be able to get the energy to do it. All right, I'm done talking. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all later. Bye, guys.